Hey guys, it's Kaylee. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. If you are new, hi, my name is Kaylee. Nice to meet you. I am a reseller of used clothing and I sell on sites like eBay and Poshmark. Becoming a reseller and getting really good at reselling was a very slow process for me. It took a lot of research, a lot of mistakes, but I am here to share some tips with you so that you do not have to go through the same process that I did. And today we're going to talk about 10 tips on how to level up as a beginner so that you can skip some of those unnecessary mistakes. If you can implement all or just one of these into your reselling career, I think you will be way more successful more quickly. And these are things I definitely wish I would have done sooner into my reselling career, because I think I'd be a lot further along now than I was because I waited too long to do these things. So 10 tips on how to level up quickly as a beginner reseller. Most of these are applicable on both eBay and Poshmark, but some of them might be specific to one or the other. So the first one is an eBay tip. If you're an eBay seller, you'll know that as a beginner, you have a selling limit on how many listings you can list within a month. In fact, we all have selling limits. Some are bigger than others, but when you first get started, they really limit you as to the amount that you can list. And the reason that they do this is because eBay does not want you to grow too fast too quickly, because if you grow too fast too quickly, you're more than likely able to make mistakes and upset your customers. So they try to get you to slow down and grow gradually, which honestly makes sense. But for some of us, we may want to grow a little bit faster. So tip number one is to request an increase in your listing limits. You can do this by going to ebay.com, going to my eBay, and going to selling. From there, you can see your listing limits, and then you can actually request an increase. There should be a button there. Now, in the past, it has directed me to call eBay, and that's something I've done before, is just directly call eBay. However, during this pandemic, they're not allowing calls, but you can go and also put your phone number in, and then they'll give you a call when they have an agent available. And then sometimes when you click that button, they just automatically increase it for you, but doing one of those two things is definitely the best way to increase your limits quickly. I personally have never been told no. They always at least give me some listings, but I think it is helpful if you have a couple of sales under your belt. They're more likely to increase your listings for you. But if you just do nothing, they'll automatically gradually increase that as you list more and more and sell more and more. But if you want to get it done faster, you need to contact them. You need to request one, either by clicking that button or by calling. Number two is print labels at home. A lot of resellers, when they start, just take the address of the buyer and then they go to the post office and ship from the post office and pay for that label there. But that is an absolute hassle, and if you want to level up faster, you need to be printing your shipping labels online. So if you already have a printer, I would suggest printing your labels via eBay. You actually get the commercial rates that way, so you're also going to save a lot more money. And then you also have more options for shipping that you wouldn't normally have at the post office. For instance, first class packaging, if you go to the post office, they only allow up to, I think, 13 ounces. But when you print your shipping labels on eBay through the commercial rates, you actually get up to 16 ounces, therefore saving you money by being able to ship via first class. And if you do have a printer, make sure to get sticky labels. It's a really big hassle and kind of, in my opinion, a waste of money to keep printing the paper, cutting the paper out, and then using tape to adhere it to the package. You could just as easily spend that money on ordering shipping labels. You don't have to get anything fancy. I know you'll probably see a lot of resellers using the Dymo printer or the Rollo printer. I don't have either one of those, and while it would be nice, if you've just got a regular thermal printer at home, it works just as well. So you can buy shipping labels like these ones. I get these off of Amazon pretty inexpensively, and you can see there are two on one label, and I just print everything on this. It's so easy. You can peel it off, slap it on a package. I use these for both eBay and Poshmark, and so it makes my time go a lot faster with shipping, which means I can use that time to list more items and make more money. Number three is minimize your expenses early on. So when we are fresh into reselling, we come up with a bunch of creative ideas for packaging, and honestly, I've gone back and forth with so many different things. I've probably at least 20 times changed in the last couple years how I package my items, but now I feel like I've really got it down, and you don't need all the frills in your packaging. A lot of resellers start out by buying cute poly mailers on Amazon, and if you're selling on eBay or Poshmark, you can use priority mail shipping for most of your items, and you can get free shipping supplies via USPS.com and really minimize your expenses by ordering those free shipping supplies. Now, if you are shipping things via first class, you will need to have your own packaging for that, but what I like to do is save any packing materials that I get from eBay, Amazon, any packages that I order, and I save those packing materials, both the box, the bag, and anything inside. Bubble wrap and those air jackets are really nice to keep, and even the Kraft paper, packing paper inside, I save all of that and reuse it for my reselling business, and I'm spending very, very little money to ship my items. If you are a beginner and you do have an eBay store subscription, you actually get a perk every quarter, which gives you a coupon to spend on eBay shipping supplies, and most of the time you can get those shipping supplies for basically free or very, very little, and that is how I get my first class poly mailers. So almost everything that I use to ship is free. Number 4 is learn to get really good at doing comps, which is also another term for checking what has sold on the platforms you're planning on selling on. I do have a video on how to do that on eBay, so I will link that up here. But getting really, really good at checking solds is going to prevent you from buying something in the first place that isn't going to make you a lot of money and will take a long time to list. And then also you're going to be able to accurately price the items that you do pick up. And the best way to get really, really good at checking comps is to be more specific when you're looking up the items. Number 5 is to get a routine down. Now, you can get a routine down even if you are a part-time seller. I'm gonna guess for the topic of this video, for being a beginner reseller, that you're actually not full-time, that you are a part-time reseller, and maybe you have other things going on. You're a mom, or you have a full-time or part-time job, and you're using this to just supplement your income. That's how I started. I worked a full-time managerial job and did this on the side. But regardless of that, you can still create a routine to help you get more in the groove of things, get things done faster so you're not scattered around trying to figure out what to do next. And being more consistent allows you to do things in bulk and save some time and knock those listings out faster. So getting in a routine for a part-time seller would look like maybe you make a commitment to every day when you get off work, you package up all your items that sold that day so they're ready to go out the door for the next day. And you have specific steps that you do at certain times of the day or certain days of the week. And I know easier said than done, but once you get into a routine, it's really going to help you, like I said, to knock things out quickly and create more of a structure so that you're not stressed out all the time, running around trying to figure out what to do next and what needs completed. Number 6 is learning how to say no to bad buys. This one was really tough for me in the beginning. And what I mean by bad buys is maybe you come across an item at a thrift store and it's in a really, really good brand, and maybe you've never found that brand before and you're excited to find it, but you see that there is a stain or there's a small rip, and you think to yourself that I might be able to throw that in the washer and get that stain out, or I could just take it home and sew that up in about 10 minutes. The thing is, when you bring those items home, you're less excited to list them because you know there's more work involved. So really learning to say no when there's a problem like that, it's going to save you so much time. It's going to clear your headspace. It's going to prevent you from having to do extra additional tasks like spot cleaning items, sewing items, and basically creating a pile of stuff that you don't want to do, which is also, you'll hear other people refer to that as a death pile. A lot of the time, that's where those items end up. So if you can learn to prevent getting bad buys in the first place and just say no when you're at the thrift store before you purchase them, you're going to save yourself a lot of stress. Number 7 is to track your numbers and know what your expenses are. So this would be a form of accounting, but regardless of recording that, which I do think you need to do, no matter how big or how small you are, you need to record your expenses, but you also need to record your sales. You need to really have a good grasp of what your average sale price is, how much you're making every month, what's your gross, what's your net. You need to learn how to calculate those numbers so that you can have a better grasp as to what's going on in your reselling business. And when you do know those numbers, you can make better decisions. You can learn what to cut out and what to do more of. Number 8 is setting aside money for taxes. Now, when you are a smaller reseller, it's probably not something that you think about. And then at the end of the year, when you go to do your taxes, you're hit with a tax bill that you weren't expecting. So really do your research now and set aside some of your net income that you get, and do that every month versus waiting till the end of the year to pay it off. If you're new to reselling and you're not really sure what to do about taxes, there is a course that I took from Not Your Dad's CPA online. He's a reseller too, and he knows how to do taxes for resellers. He offers to do your taxes for you, but he also has a course, I think it's called the Tax Academy, and it does cost money to take, but it is totally worth it. So if you are a beginner, but you're getting serious into reselling and you have the money to invest into that course, it will really help you, and it spells everything out for you and gives you a way better understanding of not only how to record your information and what kind of information you need to learn for taxes and to record, but it'll also teach you a little bit about how taxes work and what quarterly payments are and so on. I'll drop a link to that down below. It's not sponsored, but it is one that I took and I highly recommend. Number 9 is creating an inventory system. If you already have an inventory system and it works for you, great. But if you haven't started one, as I feel like most beginner resellers don't have, and I certainly didn't have when I started, you really need to put one in place. This will launch you to the next level. It'll make things so much easier when it comes to shipping items. And then when you start to grow and have more items in your store, you'll be thankful that you started the inventory system early. And number 10, last one, is to not get discouraged when bad things happen in your reselling business. Things like scammers, bad feedback, maybe you can't find an item when you go to ship it. Maybe you have a buyer who is trying to do a return and they are really frustrating you, or maybe you just had multiple returns in 1 week. It can be really discouraging, and I know when I first started reselling, that just wrecked my entire day, and it would be all I would think about, and it made it hard to get things done. Because I just had those thoughts in the back of my head, I was constantly worried about what was going to happen. You've really got to learn to let that go. And when bad things happen, you just got to deal with them and move on. And I do think it's important to get a system in place for how you react to those situations so that when they do arise, you can go to your system and you can just handle it the same way every time. And it makes it a lot easier to deal with things and not get so discouraged when those bad things happen. You will have negative reviews. You will have people trying to scam you. You will have returns. And you will, in general, just have people that frustrate you. But it's not the end of the world. And once you start selling more and more, those things won't even bother you. They're just become a part of everyday business. And if you can learn that early on, you'll save yourself a lot of headaches. All right, guys, so that is it for my 10 tips today on how to level up quickly as a beginner reseller. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what your tip of the day was, what you took away, what you found most helpful. If you have any tips for beginner resellers, please drop them in the comments down below. We love to learn from each other. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.